Hello everyone, this is Scramble from Emotionless Crypto Trading. Today we're ready to share with you the video presentation I've promised around the leverage trading with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Let's get started. Margin trading, trade with more than you actually have. That's the real value behind this. And here we go, we have a tutorial video with Bitmex on how to get started. Now, I'm definitely suggesting you to get used to this platform, to the website, to the feature, and to the entire process before you go in with real Bitcoins. That's why I say Bitmex has two versions. Bitmex, the official website where you have to use real Bitcoins to trade, or there is their testnet version, which is right here, testnet.bitmex.com, where you can use virtual money for trading. The platform is kind of looking exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the logo, which has different colors, right? So you can see that right here as well. It's kind of the same from all the other perspectives. The only thing is you're not going to use on testnet real Bitcoins, because I'm definitely and strongly suggesting you not to go with real Bitcoins from the first minute until you get familiar and until you feel ready, you're ready to get started with leverage trading, which is way more riskier than the normal trading, right? So the margin trading is not that easy as the normal one, because here you get a liquidation spot depending on your leverage spot, which means that you might lose your entire position and not just a specific percentage of your opening spot, right? So we're gonna dive into those in the next few minutes. For now, all you gotta do is basically create one account on bitmex.com, and when you're ready to go with real Bitcoins, go ahead and do it. Here's the register link. This is where you do it. Testnet.bitmex.com. Basically, you will have to register as well, and what you're gonna get is basically this page right here, exactly like you can see this when you are logged in, right? So once you verify your account, this is what you're going to see. Telling you once again, you have to create two separated accounts. It's not going to work with only one for the testnet, the other one for the Bitmex without a testnet, right? So we're pretty clear until here, and we're also clear on why we would need this specific testnet. On the other side, what you want to do at your first movements, basically once you have logged in your testnet, is just pretty much click over here when you have the total and available, because those are your balances of XBT, which means BTC on Bitmex. Now keep in mind that the testnet and all the numbers you have there are testnet Bitcoins, which means that it's a testing version of Bitcoin that has no monetary value, right? So that's something I've explained over the last few minutes. This is the spot and the place you're not going to lose real Bitcoins, but you will be able to trade with testnet Bitcoins, right? So very important. Go ahead right here and click on your available balance. XBT means BTC, Bitcoin. The same thing is going to show on Bitmex as well. XBT, you will know that it's going to mean BTC. What you have here is you get basically 0.01 BTC when you create your account for free to get started and trade it. Now, if you lose that, or if you want to have more, like I'm having 1.44 XBT, which is a BTC, what you want to do is you want to go over the deposit button right there, and then you have the testnet Bitcoin is freely distributing in the following faucets, right? So what you want to do is you want to click on those basically just like that and get some free testnet Bitcoins deposited to your address, which is located right here. You take this guy, you copy it, you put it right here, for example, in this pretty much address in this spot, and then you verify. You're gonna get your Bitcoins in a matter of a few minutes once they get the confirmations. Right here as well, basically you put your address and you get basically the Bitcoins these guys are going to send out. And here's another website as well where you can get your testnet Bitcoins in case you're going to lose or in case you want to have more. This is one case scenario that I'm definitely suggesting you to do. because just 0.01 is not going to be enough for at least 1 month of testing Bitmex and leverage trading, getting used to this. If you see you're going to lose your entire balance, you can repeat a process the next day and the next day with all these websites basically gaining and getting more and more BTCs available in your balance. There's no problem doing that. You can request testnet Bitcoins as many times as you want. On the other side, for the ones looking to cash out these BTCs, thinking that they are going to be considered as real Bitcoins by pushing the withdraw button and putting their addresses out there, you're not going to get real Bitcoins, guys. Don't try to do this. You're going to get testnet Bitcoins, which has a monetary value of 0, which is explained right here, basically. So don't try to cash out this, guys, right here, unless you want to do something with a no value token, right? Because they're not going to be real Bitcoins on the testnet. You can do it on bitmex.com officially with real Bitcoins. That's another game, right? Great, good. So let's assume we're right here. We have enough Bitcoins to get started. And what we want to do is we want to head over to trade tab, which is located right here. Now the trade tab basically gives you the option to start trading on the margin. You will have multiple possibilities and multiple type of cryptocurrencies that you can trade, which are located right here, just like that. On the other side, we have the order book, we have the actual price, which is right now the latest price of the market. We have the charts, and the charts can be opened in a larger screen by clicking on this button right here. If you click on that, you're gonna see it way better, and it's way more professional this way. You have also tools that you can use for technical analysis and all that stuff. You have your recent trades and the depth of the chart, basically, of the market right here. So these are the things you're having on your screen, as well as your positions. Once you have opened them, you will be able to see them right here in this tab, just like that. Now, where's everything happening is just right here on the left side, where you have the place your order and then your position where you're selecting. You can see that you have 1x, 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x, 25, 50, and 100x leverage, right? So the risk limit you're having for a testnet account is 200 BTCs. For Bitmex, not a testnet, you will see that the risk limit is gaining or it's decreasing depending on your activity on the platform. So if you're good, if you're making profits, if you're not losing a lot, and if you're not getting liquidated, then your risk limit is growing basically, and you will be able to trade a lot of the money in case you want to open positions worth of millions of dollars, right? So going right there where we would have to go on the buy and sell market, basically. As you may know, margin trading permits you to trade basically in any sort of direction. You can aim on the market that goes for the long, which means for you to buy the market, and the green one means that it's going up, so you are kind of aiming for the crypto to go up, and that's the only time you're gonna make money. And if you sell the market, it means you're shorting, right? So we're talking about long buy market, sell the market is the shorting one, which means that you're gonna make money if the price of Bitcoin is going down. You're gonna make money that way. Attention, not like the regular trading. In this case, if you sell the market, which means shorting, you're gonna make money. Right, so what's the next thing basically? How do we calculate the way the leverage works? Now, one of the things that I've pointed down is just like that here in two examples on the long trading, and here is one on the short trading basically. So let's get started. Let's assume that we would like to trade 10x leverage BTC long, right? Which means we would have to go right here in the market tab, and that's gonna basically go with the latest price of the market, and that's gonna be the price we're going to have as entry position, the latest one. If you go for the limit tab, then you are going to select the price you want to buy, or pretty much to go in for a short or to go in for a long, right? So you're going to select the price. It's not going to be the latest one within the market. If you go for the market, it's going to be the latest one for the market, and it's slightly different, right? So you got to see even that with the fees and all that stuff. We're going to discuss that very soon as well. Now let's assume you want to go, as I said, 10x leverage BTC long, which means for you to go in the market, for example, select your 10x right here, leverage 10x, and then you have the buy button right here, which means the long position. You're aiming that the BTC is going up. You will make money that way. So you have your quantity here, USD. That's going to be your opening position as how much is going to worth. $1,500 in this case scenario, right? So we are going to add another zero right here. It's going to be $15,000 for our opening position right here if we go long. The costs are represented right here just below your buttons for the buy market, for the long position. In order to have a trade open at $15,000 worth of Bitcoins, you will have as cost to open this one 0.2275 BTCs right there. If you want to sell the market, which means shorting, you will have the same cost basically doing this. It's really up to you the way you want to do it. But you want to make sure you know the costs involved, right? So it's not going to cost you $15,000. No, that's calculated with the 10x leverage. It's multiplied with 10x leverage basically, which means 10 times multiplied, right? So in order to find out the amount of money you're putting in, you just have to calculate it against basically your quantity, right? So if you have multiplied your amount of money and you have reached up to $15,000, that means that the 10x position right there is gonna worth what's that, like $1,500, right? $1,500 multiplied by 10 times, it's $15,000. It's kind of, you gotta divide it into your leverage, then you're gonna find out how much it's gonna cost. Explaining it once again, maybe I was pretty complicated here, right? So the quantity is going to be the amount of money you're going to have as opening your position. That's basically the amount of money your position is going to worth, not the cost you're going to have. The costs are represented here, and they're divided with the leverage you're going to choose. Take a look. If I'm going to put leverage 100x, the costs will be divided with 100 times on my quantity of USD I'm selecting, right? So take a look. 0.22, I'm going to put 100x, and I have 0.025 basically, right? So there, $15,000 divided by 100 times comes out with a cost I'm having in order to run this trade, plus the fees, of course. Let's just get here. 10x leverage BTC long costs $50. My position is going to worth 500, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 10x here. I'm going to put $500 here. Therefore, my cost will be basically 0.0075 BTC, which means that I have to divide my leverage 10x with the $500 equals with $50. Those are my costs. Basically, you can take this guy right here, this amount of money, and put it somewhere where you can calculate how much is that it's worth in BTC. We'll see it's $50 or around that, 51, 52, depending on the fees you're going to have. Right? So 10x leverage just like that, assuming that the market is going to have an increase in the price of BTC of 10%. Which means that out of your $500 position, because that's what you have as your position, even though you only paid 50, but just because you have 10x, it's going to be multiplied with 10x leverage, $500 right there. 10% at $500 comes down to $50 profit out of your $500 position, just like I said it, right? Now with a 10% gain, on the market, you've actually made 100% on your original cost because you had 10x leverage. This is the big deal. This is the big game right here. You are going to have your positions calculated at much more money than you're actually having because you're using the leverage. And this is the margin, right? So 10x leverage at $50 cost, 500. Market goes up 10%. 10% for 500 is 50 bucks. But for that kind of 50 bucks at our 50 invested is going to worth 100%. And there you go, we have 10x leverage. Let's take a look at the next example on 100% leverage. BTC shorting, which means we're aiming the market is going to go down and that's the only time we're going to make money, right? So the cost of our trade, 50 bucks. Our position will worth $5,000. Very simple. Right here, when you put your quantity, make sure you divide it with the leverage you have selected in order to find out the costs for your trade. Very simple. BTC decreases 10%, which means for you to make 500% profit out of your $5,000 position because you were going on 100x leverage with $50, right? So market decreases 10%, you are aiming on short, you're right about it. 10% out of 5,000 is 500, so you made $500 profit. On 100x leverage means 1000% basically profit to your original $50 position, because that's how Bitmex is calculating always and always to the amount of money you have as costs. That's the way they will calculate the profits, right? So if you go 100x, you will see even when the market is going just like 0.5% up, you already have a very good position because your money is calculated at the leverage trading you're having, right? So it's $5,000 in this case. If it went up $50, then you actually have 100% profit already because you just paid 50 bucks, and it will share with you 100% profit right here on the market. So we're going to test that right now. We're going to see. Hopefully this video is not going to be too long, but I'm trying to explain it to you in depth how it works, right? So let's take a look at this. We're going to go 100x because the next thing we're going to discuss is going to be the liquidation price, which is one of the most important things here. You'll see what I'm talking about. In order to get a good spot, we would have to see the price liquidation, which means that your entire position is going to be wiped out of your account if the market is hitting the liquidation spot, right? Let's take a look at this. We're going to put $5,000 on 100x leverage, right? That's what's selected. Our costs is going to be this at a current price point of the market, at a current price range, means $50. We have divided 100 times at 5,000, it's $50. Good. Now, let's take a look. If we go long, click on this, and you will just get confirmation of your order while you get all the details right here. Now, the most important price and the most important detail is just right here that you're going to get 5,000 contract out of the XBT against the USDT market, which means the BTC against the USDT, right? As just I explained it to you. But you have your liquidation price, which is located right here in the bottom. Now, liquidation price is almost at 1% difference from the price when you're entering, which means in case of $62.50 at this time. So that means if the market is decreasing $63 or 1%, your entire position worth $5,000 is going to be liquidated, which means that's going to be taken by Bitmex. That's their profit by, borrowing you money and giving you the opportunity to trade with $5,000. They will take your $50 away from your account. They're not going to take 5,000, they're going to take $50 because those are your costs, and you have used 100x leverage, right? So pay high attention. This is the big deal. Liquidation price. With 100x, it's the riskiest game, and I can tell you that there's just less than 1% of people out there making money on 100x leverage. I'll share with you a strategy I used to make some money with 100x, but you have to be very, very careful, and this thing is going to happen in the next videos I'm going to put out. Usually, when you get started, 2x, 5x maximum, 2x, 3x, 5x. And as lower you go in x, basically, the bigger the liquidation difference is going to be. So the bigger the room you're going to have, the bigger the space you're going to have till you get liquidated, because you will trade it with less amount of money. For example, currently we have 5,000. Remember, 5,000. When I put 10x, and terms will just change very, very soon. Right? So we have 9% liquidation spot right now. And of course, in order to trade at $5,000 with 10x, the costs are gonna be at $500, because we just have to divide it, right? And you can see how the costs have increased. Take a look at that, 0.0759. If we go 100x, this is gonna get back to $50. If we go 10x, this is gonna jump to $500. Very simple, because we want to trade at 5,000. Our liquidation spot will be at 9% as of right now, which is a price difference of $600, and it's going to give us a lot more space, a lot of room for the volatility till we get liquidated, right? So that's the great deal. That's the good thing. If you trade on lower leverage, you're going to have more liquidation difference, more spot, more room in order for that volatility that the market has, and that we're not going to lose your money. But of course, your position is going to be that big. So you will have to calculate the best spot for your leverage, including all the circumstances of the liquidation, entry point patterns, and everything that needs to be calculated when you do an entry in this kind of cases, right? So this is the big deal around your liquidation difference. Very, very big deal. Let me just do a live example with you. We're going to put just, $500 for our quantity, and we're going to go 10x. Therefore, it's going to cost us $50. We're going to go long, just an example, long on the market. So we're clicking on the long. Costs, basically, we know the costs. There are $50. We have a liquidation difference of 9%. So what we're going to do, this is basically the estimated liquidation price. If the market is touching that, we're going to get liquidated, and our entire $50 is going to be taken away from us, right? We're not going to lose 500. Telling you once again, we're going to lose $50. So we have opened our spot. It's presented right here. Now let's talk about the details we're having here and the way it works. You've got your size, which means the amount of money in US dollar in this case scenario. You've got the value basically of your position right now. It's that notional $500. You didn't pay that much attention. You were going 10x, which means you have paid. You divide that by the amount of your leverage you have went, $50. Entry price, this is where you have entered basically. Mark price. Now the latest mark price for this contract, this is the price used for P&L and margin calculations, and may differ from list price for the purposes of avoiding price manipulation, such as extreme parabolic movements, spikes or crashes which are happening. Bitmex is trying to protect you against those, and usually the mark price is slightly below the regular price or above, depends in what circumstances we're discussing, right? So the liquidation price is appearing right here, and if the market of this price, right? So you don't care about a mark price when you talk about a liquidation. You care about this official price, which is located right here. which means the last trade. That's what you care about. And you have your liquidation price located right here. I don't tend to look at a mark price because it's not really affecting you. It's just affecting the unrealized P&L return of your investment, basically, on your notional position, right? So kind of the unrealized, the profits and the losses are calculated based on the mark price. But you don't care about those. You actually care about the real price located right here. And you care holding your mouse just like that on the unrealized P&L, and that way you will see the realistic profits or losses based on the list price of the market and not by the way the mark price is represented. Because if you don't hover your mouse on this guy right here, it's going to share you as the mark price shares, right? But we don't care about that, because when you're going to close your trade, you're going to close it not at the mark price. You're going to close it at the official price of the market. That's why we do it like that. So that's why when you want to see the realistic profits or losses of your trade, just go with your mouse and you keep it. You don't click anything. You just hover it right here. It's minus 0.20% right now on the amount of money I have put in, which means on my $50, right? So that's pretty much all basically around this fact right here. Now, very simple, basically. You can close your position by hitting the market button, which is going to cost you a little bit more if you click that, and it's going to select the best price of the market that is within the order books right now. Or you can close it basically on the limit, exactly like you would open right here on the limit side, by selecting the price, and then you close it just like that when it's touching a specific price. Now in the next videos, in the next type of content I'm going to create, we will learn how to use stop losses and all the other things. Or those are separated videos I'm going to put out, and I'm sure you guys have to learn those kind of things as well. Now there's another thing that you definitely want to know, is the frequently asked question tab. You definitely want to get familiar with all these terms. You definitely want to know way more than I have been able to explain during this video, and hopefully with all these things right here you'll just get all your questions answered. On the other side, we do have another possibility with their support, which is located right here, and they're gonna give you 24 hours, 48 hours usually response very soon if there is something you're not gonna understand. But what they're doing usually is they're gonna copy paste the responses from their frequently asked questions, which is kind of covering everything you got to know, right? So get used to the market. It's, you know, important to see the liquidation price to realize what you're doing, and that's why I use this testnet Bitcoin, which is free to get and it's not worth anything, right? So and that's where we are. This is pretty much all around it. If you want a one-on-one coaching program on how to become a successful trader on leverage, specifically coaching for leverage, feel free to check the first link in the description area for one-on-one coaching with me live on lessons, right? So that's pretty much all around this video. Feel free to subscribe for the next videos around leverage trading, cryptocurrency stuff, ICOs, normal trading, technical analysis. We do a lot of the things. Don't forget, this is testnet.bitmex.com. This is not the bitmex.com where you put real money. Two different things, two different websites. You got to create an account in both. But first, make sure you know what you're doing. That's why I'm speaking about testnet. Right, so that's pretty much all for today. Thank you so much. Feel free to share your questions in the comments area, your feedback. Share the video if you enjoyed, and if you believe this is helpful to you, just put that like button right there, smash that subscribe, and hit the bell button next to the subscribe button. Once you touch that, you will have the bell button, which is going to share with you notifications whenever I'm posting on YouTube, right? So hopefully the video is not too long. I've tried to explain it quite a few times. Probably every single thing is mentioned a few times, but hopefully it just plays out well and it comes in a beneficial way to you. Thank you once again, and I talk to you soon.